Welcome back to the Need I Remind You podcast. This is your host, Yolanda Youngblood. And to my active listeners who are on time, folks, I apologize for the delay in publishing this month's content in December. We are closing out the 2024 year, and it has been a turbulent and opening to a new year for me within my body. So I apologize for the delay, but I am unapologetic for taking care of myself, and I hope you are doing the same as you're listening to this episode. This episode is a funeral of the sorts, and I am just reflecting on a few things and touching into some things that I am letting go of just a little bit, just to open up more spaciousness into the next year as I prepare for growth, healing, and more self-compassion within my body and within my relationships and in this world. I want to pour out some new things in different places, and I know that the work starts with me. So if you are ready for this episode, please continue to listen. And if you're listening live or near real time of publishing this, Happy New Year's. I'll talk to y'all later. One of the things that I'm letting go of as I move forward in the next chapter is suicidality. I have not experienced suicidal ideation in my life since high school. There was a time where I thought about something and I just whispered it to a loved one when I was in high school, and then that was it. It didn't escalate. I didn't think I had like a ruminating thoughts of suicidality ever in my life other than that one instance of just a rough week. And I don't know if I would label that having a relationship with suicidality. Or at least I couldn't relate to suicidality in my life. And until in 2021, when I had my first encounter with being hospitalized from burnout, from extreme exhaustion, from feeling very confused, feeling very anxious, wore out, and not knowing myself in the reality, feeling very out of body, and not being able to ground myself, feeling very nervous and deeply bewildered by that, and being in a hospital where they are asking me questions while I'm in that state. The assessment that they gave me, I failed, and I was labeled suicidal. From their interpretation with whatever information they had from me. And when I first saw that they labeled me as suicidal, I wanted to correct them when I first saw that on my record. I wanted to correct that. And I didn't. And that was in 2021. Fast forward to 2024, I just had a primary care visit with a new provider. They mentioned suicidality in my chart, and I took a pause and calmly corrected them and let them know that that was a error in my record and that it was not interpreted accurately. And that was a really big healing moment for me in my heart, because I know the stigma associated with suicidality, with not wanting to be here, with feeling like a burden to others, just from reading, from listening to others, from running away from others who have presented with having experience with suicidality, and then returning to learn the lesson of through suicide prevention training, and again, storytelling and other informal ways that I grew myself and I learned with my community about the subject. I felt empowered enough to let someone know without becoming defensive or reactive. And I give credit to my mindfulness practice and so many other things that I've gone through in my journey. It's not just a, before after picture of the outcome and how I responded, but I really cherish that. And that's what I'm letting go of. The label, the label that was inflicted on me. I'm putting that down, and I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm not fighting it. I'm not, going through my records intensely to see what I have to do, what paperwork I have to do to correct the error. I'm just saying I'm letting it go. Maybe in the future, I'll do the exercise of getting my records updated and more accurate and aligned. But right now, it's just outdated information that I'm ready to put to rest. So that is something that I wanted to share, and I'm really proud to say I thank that entire experience for the lessons and the blessings of being, again, like trained by a North Carolina trainer and suicide survivor, encountering so many mental health caretakers and community members, and having conversation with my family members, and, just opening up so many magical moments by that very heavy term for in our society, to transform that fear that's been so loaded within me to love. So that's what I'm putting to rest. Another thing that I'm putting to rest is my perfect sleep championship medals. I don't know how to say that, but I'll tell a story and then I'll summarize. So, for most of my life, I have been sleeping like a baby. It's very seldom do I not get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And over the past few years, sleep has been nested in my fear of mental distress. When I don't get good sleep consistently, it scares me, and it has haunted me every night since 2021. And I have been hunted every year on the following 2022, when I was hospitalized. 2023, I was hospitalized twice. And so it really humbled me. My my chest was very out and proud, and shoulders were back when I felt like a sleep champion. Like, no, my sleep couldn't be touched. I could write books about sleep and write the lullabies, and then that happened, and I felt very low and scared and cowardice. I felt afraid, and the tremors, and that is why I keep medication by my bedside to this day, that I am, you know, developing a better relationship with, but it still makes me sad for the loss of innocence and confidence that I had built up over the years. However, I see that restoration within me, that as I rest, as I take things off my plate, as I try to put just a little bit more back on with the support of community, the orientation changes, but the values are still the same. I'm still an adventurous person, so I want to travel. I want to play and create and live a full, rich life. However, I need some tools and some different structures in place to get me there some days and some nights. So it does not take away from my strength and my ability to soften and ask for help. It doesn't take away from my ability to rise and create and be respected and valued in this world. I'm loved on any day. I'm loved in every way, and so I'm enough. I'm enough for me, and that's what this lesson has taught me, that even if I don't get sleep and and I see an escalation of expression or a change in my behavior that causes disturbance or disorder, or whatever other labels that, are out there. I know that I'm still worthy of care, and that can be very, very scary to confront in a world that will have me feeling, and a lot of people feeling, like they can't be off their game in public or in private, because that leads to an escalation of punishment or consequences that lead to, being ostracized or locked up or put away or forced upon or punished or hidden away, or just you're just robbed of the experiences that everyone else can have, and you feel like a criminal for being unwell. You feel like a criminal for being ill or being let go. And so this is the feeling that comes for me. And I maybe shouldn't say I feel like a criminal, because I've never committed a crime and I've never been accused or given a crime. So I don't want to use that language loosely, because human beings are everywhere. What I mean to say is that there's a deep lovelessness for, quote unquote, the criminal archetype, and that's what I internalized for a lot of my years. In the past 3 years, it was a lot of feeling small, feeling restricted, feeling uneasy within my own being, and I couldn't point to an external factor that felt like it was telling me I couldn't go anywhere, but I internalized the oppression, I internalized the trauma, and yeah. I internalized it. We internalize things, and the body keeps the score, and that just created a cycle of wakefulness for me, until I realized, okay, I need to, again, introduce some different tools, medication, conversations, discipline practices that I was resisting for so long, and I still have have my have my opinions and my questions, as everyone should, about what goes in and on their body. Um, but I definitely felt like I needed help, and I got the help that I needed. And now I can say that my sleep is beautiful. I'm not wed again to the perfect 8 to 9 hours of sleep, but on most days I get that. And when I don't get that, if I like this time of year and enjoying the holidays, or having a good time at a concert and up a little later, or out all night, I make sure that my schedule is adjusted on the next day, and I'm taking care of myself, and it's not a consecutive habit that I experience. I stay on track, and I keep my habits formed well enough for me to enjoy my play and enjoy my freedom, and continue to look for alternatives that align better to my sustainable health over time, so that I'm not taking medication for sleep that is off-brand medication, meaning it's not for what it says, what you're taking it for, what the doctor has prescribed it for. It's for some other condition or diagnoses. And, when you're taking something for one thing, it comes with a load of side effects. So that's just things that I weigh and that weigh on me. But I'm learning how to organize that information better for myself, usually through my writing practice and through my therapeutic tools, so that I can decide from a place of stillness and wisdom how I want to proceed. So my sleep is good, and I'm putting to rest the perfectionism that has been rooted in wanting to sleep out of fear of what might happen if I don't. Another thing that I am putting out and putting to rest is the high expectations that I held for my family and friends. During this past 3 years, I had the expectations that my family, my friends would be in trainings with me for mental health. They would be asking me questions. They would be interviewing me. They would be interviewing themselves and therapists. They would have therapists. They would go out and canvas around, to different providers to let them know about what I experience and what people in our community experience. I wanted them to be advocates with me. And I learned through multiple intentional and unintentional moments of heartbreak that this was my journey. This was my journey. And as much as I want to be in harmony with the people I love the most, family and friends, close hitters, my day ones, the people who nursed me back to health and did all they could in their power when I was experiencing the most severe distress in the ER, in lock facilities. These people that I love so dearly, I wanted them to walk beside me in tandem, in formation. And that didn't happen. I guess I was watching too much Beyonce. I don't know. I can't point to all the sources of my high expectations, but I do know that foundationally it's rooted in perfectionism. is rooted in capitalism, and the productivity is rooted in our history as this country, the US, is built on the back of slavery and capitalizing on our labor and just going at such an exponential rate. You just have this high excellence label on us sometimes as Black folks, Black excellence, Black girl magic, strong Black trope, strong Black man, Black love, and all these words, all these labels can uplift, and they can also weigh you down. And I found over the past few years, I was being weighed down by those labels after years of professional training and corporatization and just so much, so much programming and conditioning. And I just did not know what to do with that much anger and frustration and devastation in my body. And I looked for my people to rise up. And I called them higher, and I called them in, and they called me higher, and they called me in. And it was a very interesting dance, very interesting dance that we did. And that we're still doing to this day. And I love each and every one of my people who have showed up for me. I cannot begin to name, but I want to focus on my original tribe in Okaloosa County, Florida. My parents, my original tribe in Alabama, my original tribe in across the state of Florida. I have so many people who have loved me and have loved me for a long time, loved me for a long time. And I had the expectations because that's what love does. It expects eventually, because you start to look for those who have been around and who haven't been around. And I carried a lot of anger in my belly and in my arms and on my face. My face would break out. And I believe that was a reminder for myself to release some things as my skin started to flare up. Yes, there was dietary things and things that I was doing personally to contribute to breakouts and things, but ultimately, I believe that when our skin is inflamed, and I've had skin inflammation since I was a child, from eczema to other skin issues that have just regularly shifted and shape shifted in my life. And as those things come up, I notice a pattern of me swallowing my pain and not expressing myself. And a beautiful Black woman named Ruby has been my coach and my confidant in speaking my mind unapologetically and just nursing my voice out of me and helping me train and practice the ability to stop rehearsing, stop calculating, stop silencing in myself, and stop holding back and truly speak up and say what's on my mind and get it out, because it's better out than in, as her father used to say, my great-grandfather. I say all those things as just little notes, as little examples, and they might be little to you, but they are so beautiful to me as I think about listening back to this. But it is a tapestry of those little moments along the way that have built me up and broken me down. And so I'm just letting go of the expectations that I put on my family and friends. And as a result, it has looked like taking more responsibility for my own path and being accountable for my parts, not blaming or internalizing shame, but reframing and redirecting the energy so that I can alchemize it and create and share it back out in the ways that I needed in my past selves, or the different versions of myself that have shown up, and will continue to show up, God willing. So we are all here to learn in relationship with each other, and I'm just grateful that I can put this lesson to rest for the end, as I carry forward the space for new opportunities to just be with people in a non-judgmental and a compassionate way as we all work on nourishing our spiritual growth.